Interesting facts about famous people.
The best duels in westerns. After recently posting a video on the fastest actors with a gun, I thought I'd add another video on the best duels in westerns. I don't think I'm spoiling anyone's idea about dueling, but in the real West, dueling was not a thing. Typically, if there was a gunfight, it was an ambush, not a face-to-face duel that Hollywood has created for dramatic effect. Having said that, we are here to celebrate the movies, not the real-life gunplay in the Wild West. These are the Western genre's quickest and deadliest pistol duels of all time. This is not a definitive or ranked list, just some of the best. If you enjoy this video, hit the notification button to get my new videos. If you want to check out my many other videos, head over to my channel. The link is in the description. Let's get into it. Appaloosa, 2008. An underrated Western gem from actor-director Ed Harris. Harris plays Virgil Cole, a lawman who, along with his trusted deputy Everett, played by Viggo Mortensen, is hired to bring peace to the town of Appaloosa, New Mexico. The duel at the end of the film is the feature scene of the movie, pitting Mortensen's Everett against the villain of the film, Randall Bragg. The tension is high when Everett lays out his challenge. The duel is quick and realistic, with Mortensen using a period-accurate classical dueling stance. Bragg's death is a powerful moment, but even more impactful is the way the duel shows the friendship between Everett and Virgil. Quigley Down Under, 1990. Tom Selleck as Matthew Quigley. Sharpshooter Matthew Quigley is hired from America by an Australian rancher so he can shoot Aborigines at a distance. Quigley takes exception to this and leaves. The rancher tries to kill him for refusing, and Quigley escapes into the brush with a woman he rescued from some of the rancher's men, and are helped by Aborigines. Quigley returns the help, before going on to destroy all his enemies. Alan Rickman decided to take the part because filming was taking place in Australia. He always wanted to visit Australia. While discussing the Colt Army revolver during the dinner in Marston's house, Quigley quips that God made all men. They say Sam Colt made them equal, more or less. This is a paraphrase of the post-Civil War slogan, Abe Lincoln may have freed all men, but Sam Colt made them equal. Harrison Ford was offered the lead role but turned it down. This is a reversal of fortunes, as Tom Selleck was the original choice to play Indiana Jones, but had to turn it down due to filming Magnum P.I. Quote from Quigley, referring to using a handgun. Said I never had much use for one. Never said I didn't know how to use one.
Said I never had much use for one. Never said I didn't know how to use it.
The Magnificent Seven, 1960. A classic western that tells the story of a village that is ravaged by a ruthless outlaw. The men of the village hire a group of 7 gunslingers to help them, and learn to fight for themselves under their guidance. There are many duels and shootouts in this action-packed western. One standout scene occurs early in the film. Britt, a knife-throwing expert, played by James Coburn, is challenged to a duel. As soon as the bad guy draws his pistol, Britt lets fly a knife, killing instantly. An iconic moment, and a unique duel, due to the fact that a knife is used instead of a gun. The scene was recreated in the film's 2016 remake. James Coburn was such a big fan of Seven Samurai, 1954, and his favourite role in that film was the character that he ended up playing in the Americanized version. Tombstone, 1993. A standout 90s western starring Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer as the gunslingers Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday, respectively. The cast also includes Bill Paxton, Sam Elliott and Michael Biehn. The story revolves around the famous gunfight at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona. The feature dueling scene in this movie is between Holliday and Michael Biehn's Ringo. Ringo, expecting to square off with Earp, is taken off guard when Holiday arrives and attempts to back out of the fight. Holiday goads him into dueling, insisting that they finish their game. Holiday, referring to a string of earlier encounters between the two that went unresolved. Ringo accepts, shot dead in a flash. An intense scene, and one that gave Kilmer fans one of the most iconic movie quotes, "I'm your Huckleberry." The Grand Duel, 1972, the first spaghetti western of the video, a classic Lee Van Cleef video about outlaws who are determined to kill their leader's killer. They eventually run afoul of Van Cleef, who has a score of his own to settle. In the last confrontation between Van Cleef and the outlaws, a theme by Louis Bacalov plays as the three thugs try to figure out a way to outgun Van Cleef. The close-ups and intercutting of stark black and white flashbacks ooze style and help to build the tension, finally giving way as Van Cleef successfully delivers a bullet to each bad guy. The music score is used in Kill Bill Volume 1, 2003. Death Rides a Horse, 1967, another classic Van Cleef spaghetti western, following a young man named Bill, played by John Philip Law, on the path for revenge on the gang who murdered his entire family when he was a boy. He comes into conflict with Van Cleef's character, Ryan, who has a connection to the young man's tragedy. The final duel follows an epic shootout in a sandstorm. After the wind settles and all the bad guys are dead, only Bill and Ryan remain. Bill, having earlier learned that Ryan was at the killing of his parents, wants his revenge, challenging Ryan to a duel. Handing him one of his two remaining bullets, Ryan turns and walks away, expecting to be shot in the back. Bill fires his only bullet, but not at Ryan, instead taking out a survivor from the early shootout who was about to shoot Ryan. Although the duel doesn't end in the expected way, it is a powerful scene. The Specialist, 1969, a spaghetti western starring Johnny Halliday as Hud Nixon, a man who goes to a small town seeking revenge on the people who hung his brother. Arriving in the town, he finds greed and corruption. He teams up with a devious bandit named El Diablo to help bring them down. The exciting duel at the climax of the movie is unique and stylishly done with a creative death by cash register, the stripping bare of the whole town of deplorables, and the face-off with the West's equivalent of hippies. Francois Fabian has a nude bath scene in which she was probably partially replaced by a body double. In fact, in a 2021 interview, the actress said she always refused to shoot full naked scenes in her career. "I was only asked once, I think. I was doubled." Django Kill, If You Live, Shoot, 1967. More than just a great and silly title, an important spaghetti western that blends the genre's standard, stylish dueling with art house effects, plus a dash or two of horror atmosphere, following a man known as The Stranger, despite the title saying it's a Django movie. Left for dead after a gold robbery, then comes back for his revenge. An odd movie, and one that is described as being as far as from John Ford's Stagecoach as possible in the same genre. Cynical and dark, one of the darkest spaghetti westerns ever made, featuring some amazing duels. The best comes at the end of the film, when the stranger comes face to face with the last few men on his hit list. After the usual lingering stillness, a battle erupts that ends in explosions and bad guys meeting their end in boiling gold. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, 1962. A classic John Wayne Western and one of director John Ford's all-time best films. Wayne plays Tom Doniphan, one of only two men brave enough to stand up against the outlaw Liberty Valance. The other man is Senator Stoddard, played by James Stewart, who finds himself at odds with Doniphan for their different ways of dealing with Valance's lawlessness. The best moment from this film is the duel in which Doniphan, the titular Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, shoots Valance. It's expertly directed and simply one of the most iconic duels in Western movie history.
Right between the
Shane, 1953. A gunslinger played by Alan Ladd, and his failed attempt at settling down into a quiet life, failing because shortly after finding work as a farmhand, he's pulled into a fight with a brutal cattle baron named Rufus Riker. In the iconic final duel, Shane squares off against Riker and a handful of his cronies. Shane comes out on top, but not without suffering serious damage. Bleeding, he mounts his horse and rides off into the sunset, most likely to die, as a young boy who idolizes him calls out, "Come back, Shane." We've only just scratched the surface on this Western theme today. I'll make a follow-up video soon. I'll keep the best for last. Thank you for your time today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate likes and subscribers. Hit the notification bell to get my new videos. Take a look at my channel. The link's in the description. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.